Hello and live from Badger's Blanket Fort. Welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find, and with any luck my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have got with us a Godless Scummer.
Oi oi.
Julie LaVoice.
Hello.
B. Jen's Little Corner.
Hey, lovelies.
And BadTemperedBadger.
It's BadTemperedBadger today.
One day, Badger, somebody's going to say, I'm bad. He's going to say, I'm BadTemperedBadger, and you're going to go, fuck off.
Yeah, I keep waiting for the bad-tempered part, but you're so nice.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I can be bad-tempered.
I'm amazed. Sorry, Badger. Go.
No, go on.
I'm just amazed Dave hasn't changed his intro to say he's trolled the internet for weird and wonderful, wacky and annoying people, and I'm going to ask them some questions.
No,
well, he
know
found
exactly
some of us, so that's good.
Yeah, he did.
You know exactly
that is
what
fair.
to bring up. You know exactly what to bring up if you want me to get bad-tempered.
Oh no, don't do it, everybody. He's having
House
a rough
mouse?
day.
Let's move on. I'm in my blanket. I don't want to talk about nasty things.
Right. Our first question today.
There'll be no discussion of mice today.
Oi.
Or men.
We could talk about like real mice, just not cartoon mice.
Oh, don't get
What's
it
wrong with
started.
Mighty
Stop,
Mouse?
Jeff. Stop.
Underlay.
Or Danger
Oh,
Mouse,
Mighty
for that
Mouse.
matter. Danger Mouse is fucking awesome.
Danger Mouse is
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey,
And-
Danger Mouse
and
was
Jerry.
pretty cool.
And Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danger Mouse is better.
Itchy.
Danger Mouse had a cooler accent.
Now,
No.
imagine if Cosgrove Hall had made the Disney sequels.
What?
So
The people who made Danger Mouse.
Badger's wrapped up in
No
a
speak.
blanket. Don't
No
make him
speak
growl.
Disney. Shh.
This is I'm safe from the mean Disney people.
I don't think you are.
We love you, Badger. I was saving you from the Disney. I said Cosgrove Hall. That's not Disney. That's a
What was
British
the
company who make good stuff.
Who bought them?
I got some
What?
bad news. I got some bad news actually. Disney own the rights on blankets now.
No, stop!
Oh, trash off.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
First
sorry,
question.
Dave.
So,
Did you say
Dave.
Disney have bought Cosgrove Hall?
I have no
Dave,
idea.
We're here for questions, right?
I know.
I just asked Dave one.
Who owns Cosgrove Hall?
Yeah.
Nerdy asked,
don't
is that...
Suggested Disney bought them. If that's the case, I'm with Badger. Let's get the torches and pitchforks now.
Burn it down.
Burn it down.
Nerdy says, is that biscuit on Badger's table?
Nope. Battenberg.
That's right.
Ah.
I love how I nodded like I knew what it was.
You know what Battenberg is?
Yeah. Like we're from there or something.
I know, right? I'm such a people pleaser. I'm like, yep, that's what. Yep, you're right. No, you're not.
Is it me, or does his scene look like a mystery objects game? A hidden
I
objects
like
game?
it a little bit, but I
It
could
does a
live
bit.
there.
It looks like one of those old kids' computer games. You know, the click on the screen adventure stories.
Mm.
Mm.
So I wonder what
like
the Badger says if you click on him.
There is a
It's like
Removed
a
from
first
stream,
thing.
it says.
there is a game going on the laptop in the background.
Is there?
There's a
Okay,
laptop in the
so,
background?
Dave,
Yeah.
Dave, how's the puppy? She
The
doing
puppy
okay?
is
Yeah.
very grumpy. I think she's starting
Well,
to get feeling back
I
and
would be
really
too.
hurts.
Aw.
Yeah. Aw.
She's asleep.
But
just
everything's
twitching.
good as far as vet wise. Then that's good.
We won't know until the end of the week.
Oh.
But
Poor
the
doggo.
moment's good.
At the moment, good. Well, that's positive.
It is.
Touch wood.
Right, we really should do some questions.
Do we do
Oh.
questions
Here.
on this show?
Oh, what are you doing?
We used
I
to.
thought we were
Yeah,
just
yeah,
having-
yeah, yeah.
We're having a hangout.
That's
isn't it?
right. That's
I
right.
didn't know we did questions.
Right.
As long as there's no math on this exam, I'm cool.
Right, question
Well,
614.
obviously, I don't want it either now.
3,722 times
Oh.
1,213.
No.
Fuck you.
Wait. 6:15 in the morning, Dave. Too early.
Yeah, thank
Find a
you.
different question.
Actually, I'll give Julie an easier one. What's 5 divided by 0?
5-0. Wait, what?
Thank you. Yeah, we go. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Julie. You are smarter than Anthony Riley.
I don't know who that is, but cool.
Flat earther.
Oh, well, duh. Of course I'm
Oh,
part
well.
of it.
Have you
Right.
just got the
Yeah, that's
answer
what I
on,
was gonna
Jeff?
say.
For goodness sake.
You said that like you're talking or something.
The chat has answered
Sorry about
42
that.
and 69. Right, question 614.
Flat
What is the most
earther.
ridiculous job you have ever applied for?
Oh,
Does guest on critical questions count?
Did you apply? No. Oh, you randomly plucked.
I was thinking I was headhunted, wasn't I?
I didn't really apply for this. I just got a message from Dave saying like, "Oi, questions."
one time when I was laid off, I applied to be an advertisement copywriter and I had no experience, but you have to apply for so many jobs each week to get your unemployment. So that's
Same here.
that was one that I applied for.
And you got it.
No, but they did. I did get an interview, and it was like the shadiest of shady situations. Like I got there, and there were like folding chairs and laptops set up on folding tables, and it was so fly by night looking and creepy. Another condition of unemployment in my state is if you're offered a job, you have to take it. So
Yeah.
I got lost on my way to the second interview. Yeah, because I really did not. I was like, this does not smell right. It smells like a pyramid scheme. So,
I mean, it's a little difficult one for me to answer because I've had the same job for like 20 years now. So
that
Is
must
that
be
job
awesome.
ridiculous?
It is a pretty ridiculous job if you actually think about it in an abstract sense.
there was a like a children's program when I was very young that made that look like a really, really good job. It lied to me.
Have you got a cat?
I do not have a cat.
You're
And they
doing
do
it
not
wrong
even-
then.
They do not even give you a black and white cat.
What the hell do you do, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm reacting
Right.
like I know what you're talking about, and I don't.
I'm a postal
Yeah,
worker.
I'm nodding and I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. Huh?
I'm a postal worker.
Oh, cool. My grandpa was a
Oh.
postal worker.
Mm.
That's
There's
awesome.
nothing wrong with that.
No,
It's
Yeah,
hard
but
to get into the post
but they-
office right now, so be glad that, I mean, it has been for years. Ever
Yeah.
since it was
I do
bought
know.
out. Yeah.
Because USPS is privatized now as well, isn't it? So
well, no, it's not
Yes.
really, but they're trying to make that happen.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Well,
it pretty much is, but they run it exactly the same, but it's owned
Yeah.
privately.
I know.
Oh, I
But
didn't
now they
know
make
that.
it harder to get
Okay.
in.
I do happen to know
Yeah.
some US postal workers, so
oh, that's lame because that used to be a good government job.
Seraphim knows what I was talking about. Yes, Postman Pat made that job look so like great when I was a kid, and it's like, oh, this is really cool.
You hand delivered everything to the person
Yes,
in a
think-
helicopter,
You
in a
Yeah.
van.
and helicopter. They give you a cat. And you stop after every 2 letters to have a cup of tea. It just seemed like this is a nice job.
I think
How many
for it-
tons
for
do you
it to
stop
be
from?
like- I think for it to be like Postman Pat, you would have to be the postman for a small village where everyone's made of plasticine.
Possibly,
Yes.
yeah. The plasticine bit is the key part there.
Yeah, because most small villages No, the post office is been centralized, so you have to go for a plasticine village.
Yeah, and I don't think he was. I don't think there was a lot of people that he was that came out to him complaining about where the fucking gyros were in Greendale. So
I blame you that things haven't been sent.
yeah.
I should ring you up about post.
How many hyacinth bouquets did you have?
I'm not gonna. I've got one who is way worse than that in real life. Okay.
You've got to be kidding me. How can there be somebody worse than Hyacinth Bucket?
She's like a cross between Anne Widdecombe and Dolores Umbridge.
Okay, see, I know who Hyacinth Bucket is, Bouquet is, but I don't know those other two names, so now I'm confused again.
Dolores Umbridge is the pink lady from Harry Potter.
Oh, right. No, I didn't know that. Okay.
If you want to know who,
and I can't remember who the other one is.
Anne Widdecombe,
MP.
That's right. That's why I can't. Yeah.
She's a former politician who most recently, if I'm remembering correctly, ran for the Brexit Party.
Yes, and she got in. And if you want if you want to know how sort of not
I didn't know she got in.
If you want to know how obnoxious she is, there's a debate that she was involved in about 10 years ago of on the Catholic Church, because she's a Roman Catholic.
I'll put money that Julie's seen that debate.
You probably have. It was her and some Catholic Archbishop against Stephen Fry and Christopher Hitchens. I think it was.
Yes.
Yes.
Hitch slapped and deep fried. I think.
Yes, I've seen that debate. That's the one where is the Catholic Church a force for good in the world?
Yes, that's it.
You know the
good.
That's Anne Widdecombe.
Oh, that bit. Okay, that is such a good debate. Watch it if you haven't watched it, everybody. It's fantastic.
Anne Widdecombe's the one who talks like she's got. Anne Widdecombe's the one who talks like she's sat on a cactus.
Ouch. Well, that's being a Catholic woman. I don't know what to tell you.
Stephen Fry actually tore her a new one in that debate, didn't he?
Really did. Yeah. He pulled no punches.
He went in harder than Hitchens did. That surprised
me. He did.
It was beautiful.
He really did.
It was a thing of beauty.
It was a good debate. Right. Seraphim says, knife saleswoman. Not sure why that's a ridiculous job. Then they're giving us lots of maths questions.
Thinking it's a pyramid scheme.
And then everyone looked at Anne Widdecombe.
They don't even give you knives to sell.
Mama Atheist says NASA next.
That's a ridiculous.
I don't think that was an answer to your question.
That's
Dave.
Ridiculous jobs. No?
Well, I mean, if we're working on the basis that space isn't real and the Earth is flat, then it could be argued that it's a ridiculous job.
No, but I think it's ridiculous in an abstract sense. If I was applying for NASA, I would consider it absurd that I was applying for them because it's NASA.
Fuck off. I'm saying it for you, Mum Atheist.
It's not ridiculous. I mean, it's not a ridiculous job.
No, not in that.
The point. You're talking about a ridiculous job that you applied for, not that it was ridiculous for you.
No, but
I get your point.
Okay.
I didn't, so if I overreacted, I apologize. I just thought you were saying that working for NASA was ridiculous. Full stop.
It's ridiculous, not in an objective sense. In the same way as turning around and saying you were going to apply to be president. You're going to apply, as in it is something that is bigger than life.
Yeah, as somebody was going to. Yeah.
Considering
I get that. It'd be ridiculous for me to apply to NASA, for example. That would be ridiculous. But,
to be honest, considering who you've got right now, anyone else applying to be president is less fucking ridiculous.
I think we need at least an interview process and background checks. Something. Yes. I don't know. There need to be more criteria.
Go on, B.
So when I got to where I live now, I was just looking for jobs everywhere. I just applied to like 30 jobs in like 2 days. And now mind you, remember I'm an ex-truck driver, so I've drove big trucks. And so I applied to be a van driver for the local transportation system, and then they sent me an email saying they found someone more qualified.
Mother hush bucket. Who?
Somebody who drove motorbikes.
Okay.
Oh.
You're telling me you can drive a van better than I can? Like, my pickup truck's like a toy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind if somebody is more qualified, but how on earth would they find some in that instance? That's weird.
I can hazard a guess.
Because they were like, you need to keep track of mileage, take care of paperwork, do customer
Did you find out
service.
whether or not it was a guy?
That's what I did for 12 years. Huh?
Yeah.
Did you find out whether or not it was a guy that got the job?
No, but I'm gonna tell you, every time I see those vans, they look kind of like they're like the handicap-sized vans that we used to have, And every time I see those, it's always like some little Spanish dude driving it. So I guess the person in charge is probably Spanish. And if I would have put maybe Gonzalez as a last name, or what's a good one around here? Trujillo. Trujillo. If I would have put that down as a last name,
wear sombreros.
Or maybe like a male name. That might have been a good idea.
Instead of Reaper a lot.
I get that a lot. I get it a lot because my first name's Elizabeth. And they're like, oh, girl. Like, no, dude, I can kick your ass. Not girl. Not girl. More testosterone than you have in your pinky. But anyways.
Sammy said, selling online university business degrees door to door. That's how Kent got his.
Oh! Hold on, I'm going to change my answer. When I lived in Florida, I was one of those meat people that sold the steaks out of the back of the truck with the freezer in it with the blocks of ice. and the meat was like okay, and they charged way too. It was like $300, and this is now mind you 1990. It was like $300 for a case of that meat, and it wasn't good. Like, it was okay, but it wasn't like prime grade A steak, And
until this moment, I didn't know that actually happened.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was.
I thought that was
a TV thing.
How many bodies did you
No,
transport?
they literally still have those people. So they would go around to all the trailer parks when they got their food stamps, because back then they were actual food stamps, and they go around to the trailer parks, and these people would spend all their food stamps on this box of meat, and I hated it because I have a conscience and integrity, and so they would go to people's houses and they'd say, oh, well, I don't know. And then they'd say, well, if I could fit it in your freezer, then you buy it. And they'd go, all right, you're not going to fit that in my freezer. My freezer's this big. And these guys would just cram it in there, every little corner they could. They go, oh, it fit, So this guy that's training me, I'm there for 2 weeks, right? This guy's training me, and he's got me at this old couple's mobile home, and they're like 90 or something. And he's convincing them, and they're talking about it. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go out and have a cigarette. And before I went out to have a cigarette, I said, don't buy it. Don't waste your money on it. So they were almost convinced, And I went out to have a cigarette, came back in, and he's pulling the meat out of the freezer. And I was like, he said, oh, they said they didn't, they didn't want it. And I was like, okay. So we go outside. He goes, I don't know. I really thought I had that sale. I don't know what happened. So I went back. We went back. It was the end of the day. And we went back, and I just told the guy, you could just fuck off. I can't do this job. And he's like, what? And I'm like, it's dishonest, and it's not a good price, and it's not good quality meat. And I quit. So I just can't do dishonest. I can't do it.
Working in sales generally can be you to be very good in sales. I think you probably have to be a bit dishonest.
Oh, yeah. You do.
That's why I don't do sales. I don't believe in the product fully 100%. I cannot endorse it.
Yeah, I can't. I find it hard to do sales because I can't lie to people about shit.
Yeah.
To the point that when I was doing sales, I taught clients out of buying things.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I did that exact thing when I worked at Starbucks. And they do have really nice quality bean grinders. Don't get me wrong. Like any Starbucks product, any of their obviously their bags of beans and stuff is awesome, but like the actual like coffee makers and stuff, they are awesome. They're great. But you can get something that's gonna you can get an equivalent that's gonna last just as long and be just as awesome for like way cheaper. Like we had a bean grinder that was like a $90 bean grinder, and I just looked flat at a woman and I said, go to Target, don't buy that here. Go to Target, get a bean grinder for $15. It will last just as long. Because it was that same thing. I was like, I can't. I don't
Julie
care
lost her
how.
job.
I did not. Luckily, the manager didn't hear me. I worked there for way too long, and I really didn't give a fuck at that point. So it would have been okay.
I mean, that's how I am, though. Honestly, I just can't. I can't do that, man. You know, people. They're on fixed incomes. They're old people, or they're And when I see these homeless people running around with the food stamp cards, because they sell them to each other and stuff, and they're running around with them, and they're just buying junk food, and I'm like, God, I'm paying for you to buy that junk food. Fuck you. Pisses me off. But go buy some, lettuce or something.
How are you going to survive on lettuce?
Anyways, rant over.
Right, there are two comments, P. There are two comments about what you said that are important. The first one from the non-community is B was a meat person?
I couldn't think of the word sale. It's too early.
And Pine Snake says, Critical Cripple, why have you brought someone with integrity onto this stream? This is just not on.
I like it.
Okay. Fine, I'll go. No.
Right. Ike said, I applied for multiple... We can corrupt you. No, I have a distinct impression she'll be the one doing the corrupting.
Oh, dear.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I had a thought. Anyway, go ahead.
Dave, don't put thoughts like that in my head. I'm going to sleep after this. Although...
Jen, I've seen some of the tools.
What were you saying, Dave?
Available.
I've tried to say.
Oh, sorry, Badger.
I have a good toolbox.
Uh-huh. The question is why do you keep those things in there?
Instead of selling the meat, you should have sold Battenberg. This is good.
Frozen Battenberg.
We unfreeze it before we eat it.
Battenberg is the worst of the cakes.
It is the best cake that exists in Cake Land.
No, it's not. Right. Ike says, I applied for multiple...
Forest cake.
I don't like Black Forest cake either. I applied for multiple top secret design projects only to be sold... Yes. Despite being trained to use their sibling equipment, I was unqualified.
We can't take Dave's opinion on anything food related. He doesn't like cheese.
I've missed out on a
Cheese is
few jobs
horrible.
for being told I was overqualified for them.
I was told that once and I burst into tears because I really needed a job. I was like, I don't care. I really need a job.
I applied to be the
me too.
network manager at a high school. Sorry.
Yeah, that happened to me too. I was going to EMT school, so I quit driving truck and I applied everywhere, and they were all like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to hire you. And I was like, well, just be honest. Is there something wrong with my resume or something? And they were like, well, we're going to spend all this money training you, and then you're going to go somewhere else because this is a lower level job than what you're qualified for. And I'm like, well, I just need money. I need money. That's it. Just someone can hire me.
Yeah, I applied for a job as a network manager at a high school. So I would have managed their network and done, or set up the computer stuff and set up the computer lab for the kids and everything and make sure all that was working. And they said, you're way too qualified for this job. And I go, I don't care. I want a job and it's good hours for me and I get school holidays off, which suits me with my kids and everything. And they go, no, but what'll happen is you'll get a better job and you'll leave us, so we're not going to employ you. You what? I was the best qualified person applying for the job and I couldn't get it because I was too qualified.
But if you're applying for a job that you're underqualified for because they provide you with better,
circumstances,
the job is better than anything that you are, that is in your qualification range. Surely that means you'd be more dedicated to that because it provides you with better shit.
The problem is we live in a society right now that the dollar value is the only thing that's considered important.
True.
Even though in reality that's...
They were looking at it like, I think the job paid like, it was only, at the time it was fairly low. It paid like 45,000 a year, and at the time I could have easily earned 70. So they were like, no, we're not going to employ you because you could earn twice this amount, and so when you find a job like that, you're just going to leave.
Right.
no trust on that I would have stayed, and I would have stayed because it was perfect for me.
Badger.
It's about what suited me. So.
Hello.
Ridiculous jobs.
Well, let me think of a couple of examples for you. So, I once applied for an IT support job, and I went in. They did one of those funny group interviews where they get you to do like a. You go in for the interview and they gather you all in a room and they get you to do like some shit.
Oh, I hate those.
One of the things after all the talking bit, they wanted us to diagnose a problem with a laptop without Googling anything. I was there like, you don't fucking understand how IT support works, do you?
That's. I mean, even as a technical writer, that's half my job.
Yeah.
It's like Googling shit. Like, I don't know what this means. Google. Okay, I got it.
What is this error code? Oh, that's what it means.
That's insane. That's silly. They were silly people.
They were.
Another job
Right.
that I
Next.
did was a care job with. It was a care job looking after autistic people, but they didn't provide the staff with consistent shifts, so they were never in on the same days. Now,
That's fucking daft.
That's
That is really daft.
one. I think any business, except in very exceptional circumstances, that can't provide a regular, consistent schedule for its staff is poorly managed. But particularly if you're trying to provide care for autistic people.
Yes, change is bad. The regular routine is very important.
Regular routine is very, very important there.
Yeah. Please. Okay.
To be
By
quite
the way,
honest,
Dave,
I'd argue even that.
to the question.
I would argue that even if you were not autistic, I think regular routine makes everyone more comfortable that you're taking care
that's
of.
true.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'll give you a quick example from one of the training things for caring for autistic people. This is an example one, not one I directly experienced, but there's a person who is going into a complete meltdown and nobody can figure out why. And eventually they work out it's because some new care person who'd never worked with this person before threw away a box of old jumpers. And this box of old jumpers is the thing that person goes to whenever they're feeling stressed and is now no longer able to function.
Yep. That's an excellent example.
Bastards. Right. Next question, I think.
That wasn't my answer though, Dave.
Was it not?
That was just a side thing. No, my answer was when I was still a Christian, I actually applied for a job as a chaplain in a high school.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I did.
Did you get it?
No, I did not. I got into the last round of interviews though. Well, I was a youth leader and I ran youth groups and I did sermons and shit. Like, yeah, I wasn't a fundy, but I was pretty religious.
Yeah. And
I
you
would
went
have completely
both.
altered your future life if you got that job.
Maybe.
Not really.
I mean, it might have made it harder to,
Not
Or
really
you might have
bad.
ended up in the clergy project, but other than that.
Or it might have sped up your leaving of religion.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I probably would have, but that was beside the point. I mean, I'd already transitioned when I applied for the job, so there wasn't a problem.
It was leaving religion. I
And
was
the
worried
school I
about.
went to was a government school, so there wasn't prejudice against. That wasn't the reason I didn't get the job.
Oh, no, I was talking about just
Right.
like the later becoming an atheist thing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, that would have been a problem.
Yeah.
I didn't become an atheist until about 5 years later, and I doubt I would have kept the job for 5 years anyway.
I think one of your sermons could have been very, very interesting. I'd actually like to hear a priest call Satan a cockwomble.
I didn't swear when I preached.
Well,
Of course you did. You're Australian.
No, I didn't. I used to have a lot more control over my language.
Fuck off.
I thought you were going to say your mouth,
Come
then,
on,
not your
man.
language.
Come on, Valentine Snake from the chat. Please.
Yeah. If I had a mouth like this when I went to apply for that job, there's no way they would let me into any of those kids. Hang on, that didn't sound right.
I think you're putting a lot of undue faith in the child protection services related to.
Oh dear.
Oh, Badger!
Harsh but fair.
All right, now I'm going back into my blanket.
Oh well. Badger,
Right.
just for that, House of Mouse.
Fuck off.
I remember being in a blanket fort as a kid watching Disney cartoons. I will forever
Oh
associate.
my god.
Oh,
Dave,
you made
next question.
Badger go away. Dave.
Right.
I'm just gonna rage quit.
Maroon blanket forts.
It's okay, Badger. I used to sneak frogs into blanket forts. I grew up in the South. It was fun.
Isn't that
Yes.
where was it that
See
people
that.
lick frogs? Did you lick frogs?
No. No, I've never licked a frog. That's a stupid thing to do.
Is
We
it?
don't.
I have no
My
idea.
mom had science degrees, so we used to take the hearts out and put it in salt water and watch them beat.
Oh, dude. Oh no, I couldn't have done that at the time. But later
Oh,
on,
no,
dissecting
because-
frogs was badass.
I got.
Yeah, because we knew it was all scientific, so it was fun. You know, it's science.
So taking it was
She
fun.
sat underneath the lamp, and we just stared at it for the entire time it was beating.
I've got frogs in the garden, but it's kind of difficult to get a good video of them, unfortunately, because they hide.
I used to get them quite a lot. I used to get them quite a lot in my garden. So we used to have a pond.
Getting
But
toads to get high.
So what's the next question?
I
Dave?
was in Costa
Right.
Rica and,
Actually,
and
hold
saw
on,
this
Dave
really cool
answered it.
frog. I was in
Yes.
Costa Rica and saw this really cool frog
No.
in a bush, and I had my, because I have an expensive ass camera, I had my camera with me, and I was taking pictures of all the little, it's cool. They have different animals there than what we have. So I was like, ooh, and I'm like right up by this frog, and a guy walks by and taps me on the shoulder and said, that's poisonous, and if it barely touches you, you'll end up in the hospital. And I guess it was like that poison dart frog or something, whatever it was.
The venomous dart frog.
It was beautiful though, but it was really, it looked like a little baby frog. It wasn't a baby frog. It was effing poisonous. And I'm over there like playing with it and following it around, taking pictures. Anyways,
Right.
carry on, Dave. Carry on.
Question 615.
And back camera. Do you have to bend over to take those photos?
Well, it was underneath the leaves.
Oh,
And I
okay.
saw it from a distance, so I was like, trying to get a good shot. I was almost laying on the ground.
how many questions have we got to get through today, Dave?
At this rate we're going, 3. We've managed
I was
one.
gonna say
We're
one. You're
still
being
on the
generous.
first question.
Dave, next question.
Honestly, Dave, the longer you've been doing this show, the less we actually answer questions.
All right, no, go.
I just-
What's the next one?
And the worst one is
Yeah, what's
the one is probably going to be a long one as well. All right, question 615. Is there anything that science should ethically not investigate?
Yeah.
No.
No, here we go.
Here we go.
That was
Oh
quick.
no.
So the
No.
two-
Okay.
the
Wait.
two
Wait.
go.
What do you mean? Wait. Hang on. I need clarification. Investigate or experiment on or with?
I
Because
don't really know how to-
investigate, no. But
No.
I'm sorry. I just flashed on some bad stuff from
Yeah,
the
stupid
1940s in my head for a second.
That doesn't
and-
mean you shouldn't investigate it. It doesn't mean you shouldn't look into the. I mean, they have to go to an ethics board to discover if the experiments are ethical in the first place. So, this is why you have ethics board. So, I don't think anything's out of bounds to investigate. But yeah, I think you need some bounds as to what you can experiment with.
Yeah.
And
Like
on.
that gentleman
But does
in
that-
Japan who cloned the twins, so they'd be immune to HIV, but now we're not sure like what the long-term ramifications of that's going to be for them. Yeah, is a good example of someone who didn't go to an ethics board and just did whatever he wanted, and now it's a thing.
Exactly.
The question is can you, if you can deny experimentation on ethical grounds, does that not automatically leave some avenues of investigation?
Yeah, it does. But
yeah,
I mean,
it stops you from doing an experiment that would involve maybe animals or humans in a certain way, but that doesn't necessarily stop you from investigating it. There's still simulation. There's still experiments that can surround that where you're not actually hurting people or animals or whatever else is the danger of doing this experiment. So quite often it doesn't stop it. It just makes it a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah, you just might have to find a workaround.
I don't think that stops the investigation, though. It makes it harder, but it doesn't stop it.
Oh, I'm kind of of the opinion that anything can be investigated. Again, it is when you do that initial sort of investigation. It's like you come to a certain point where, whether it be experimenting or whatever, that then there's ethical issues of going forward. That's when that consideration has to be taken into account of. Can we go forward with this? Should we not go forward with this on ethical grounds? But like in terms of like an initially investigating this, I don't see an issue.
Yeah, I mean, even a thought experiment is still investigating something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, but okay, assuming you take out most of the human equation.
Well, I will say this: when we were first testing H-bombs, when the U.S. was first testing H-bombs, they knew there was a chance that it might ignite oxygen molecules in the air and destroy the atmosphere, and they did it anyway.
Yeah,
which is kind of messed up. Like, I mean,
not
it was
really.
a small can, but
that's the point.
Fair, there's nothing like
There's some very smart people doing the calculations.
There's nothing there's nothing like a Wardo for the ethics book to be thrown out the fucking window.
Yeah. Robert says science should never research your questions or Badger's secret identity.
I'm safe in a blanket fort.
I just hope you don't have any biscuits with you, Badger.
Mother Atheist says, I will not participate in the experiment of the effects of hitting puppies in the face with a baseball bat.
No,
but you could do that without actually hitting the puppies, is my point. You could still investigate it without actually hitting any puppies. You could make simulations. You could make simulations of puppies' face. I don't endorse this, but we do the same things with crash dummies with people.
You can get
Jen is putting forward the grant proposal for testing whether or not hitting puppies in the face with a baseball bat by simulation.
Not. I'm saying you couldn't do it ethically.
Oh no, you said it. There's no backtracking now, lady. You said it.
You
can do a computer simulation first, can't you?
You can make an anatomically accurate skull.
I like that. You can do a computer simulation first. That's
you can make an anatomically accurate. To make an anatomically accurate skull, and surround it with ballistics gelatin and some kind of skin and fur covering, and then hit that with a baseball bat.
And this is how you perfect your technique first.
This has got dark. This has got really dark.
Are they gonna make that awful yelpy noise? I can't stand that, even when it's on TV.
Well, if you
it depends how you hit them.
You'd program that in.
Maybe it could be a good little gimmick for Major League Baseball or something. You know, you get someone who's good at hitting home runs, and like whoever catches the puppy that gets into the crowd. You know.
Oh Lord. You just made me regress, Jeff. I just regressed.
I think.
I didn't
right. Okay. Wait. Robert makes an interesting point that needs to be addressed here. Would it make a difference if it was a tennis racket?
I think
I'm sure the effect would be slightly different.
I think it would, and you would need a different testing medium, because the tennis racket would interfere the thin fibers of the strings would interfere with the ballistics gelatin, so you'd need a skin covering on it.
Well, and the puppy wouldn't be bouncy enough.
It depends on whether you use the racket cover or not, wouldn't it?
Yes.
You couldn't play a proper game of tennis with a puppy. It's not bouncy enough.
That's true.
I was going to say they don't bounce very well.
It's true.
No.
It's true.
Whereas you use
bounce. I've seen them fall.
And they're going to taste the balls everywhere. So
yeah, I mean, in all honesty, you'd probably get a better game of soccer out of a puppy.
I don't.
Okay, this is really messed up. Move on, Dave.
I think we should. I think we've explored the puppy beating as far as we can.
We don't need to talk about that anymore.
I'm gonna actually say kittens are better for soccer.
I just like to say,
That's a bold assertion.
Yes, for that digression.
I don't think you'd get a very good football game out of either because, one, they're not structurally sound for that kind of use, and two, you'll make the audience sad.
Yeah, you would.
Every time you kicked it would make a noise. Every time you kicked it would.
I don't know if you see it.
I think for the first half of the game, Dave.
You're just going to make the audience sad.
I don't know. If you see
answers
the football audience is bad, right? Probably.
That's it. I'm muting all of you.
Right. Go back to the thing question. So we're basically agreeing that there is nothing we shouldn't ethically investigate, but there are issues with experimentation.
Yes, I think that's where we landed before it got weird.
Lame Jen.
This is
Weird.
why I have a blanket.
No, that was
How
like
is that
borderline
my
psycho.
fault? You read it out.
This sort of question is why I have a blanket for.
I might have to build one after this.
How on earth was that possibly my fault? I will take the blame when it's my fault, but that was not my fault.
Because you're Australian.
Well, moving on.
Yes.
Oh, I can't know about that. Damn
Okay.
it!
Right, question 616. If I asked you to get a moon rock for me right now, where would you go and how would you get it?
Alabama Space Center.
Yep.
I'd have to break in and I'd probably get arrested, but I could do it, That's the closest.
I drive and go see if Mama Atheist has one. She probably does somewhere.
Ooh, she probably does. Like, can I borrow your moon rock? I promise to bring
That's
it back.
what I do.
I'm not
I just
giving
go
it
to her
back.
because it
She might have
more
some
chance of it being real than anything else you can find.
She might have some simulation regolith, but I doubt she's got any real moon rock because it's so rare. They didn't bring them back that much of it, so they don't just give it to anyone.
There is quite a lot of it.
So even if she actually had some, I don't think she'd tell you because she'd get in shitloads of trouble.
Well, that is valid. Like, I snuck this
Again?
little piece of... Look, it's this big, but it's a moon rock.
She has moon rock in a box
You're owning up
downstairs.
to it, Amanda.
Nah, she'd tell me. I wouldn't tell anybody she had it.
I mean, there's been cons with there's been cons around moon rock for a long time, like the famous the one in Holland, wasn't there? Where they thought was been given to them as part of moon rock, and it was just like it was actually a bit of petrified wood or something. It turned out to be. Which actually, weirdly enough, the moon hoaxers think that was a con by NASA or whatever. They forget that NASA were the people that actually identified this as being putrefied, not fucking moon rock.
Someone from NASA was done. This
So
is
it's like, hold on,
petrified wood.
they exposed their own fucking scam, did they?
Dave.
Yes.
If you get a candy cane and shove it up somebody's ass, does it become a moon rock?
You think no?
I don't get a reference there, I think. I think I'm missing a reference.
I'm gonna be confused all day.
It sounds... I think that would turn into an emergency room visit. But
And,
that's
and
just
also,
me.
ow. Peppermint, ow. No.
No, I wanted. What reference have I
Burn,
missed
that's
here?
what I'm saying.
I think
How does that
Quick,
work?
flush my ass.
If you bare your ass to somebody, it's called a moon.
Oh.
Candy canes are rock.
yeah, rock candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the
there you go.
joke
Rock
doesn't
candy would have been a better.
bloody explain
We
it.
don't really-
No,
We get sticks of rock at like the seaside here. We don't really get candy canes.
no, we don't
very
do
much.
candy cane.
We get sticks
Candy
of
canes
rock
are
at
still
the
rock,
seaside.
though.
Candy canes are the worst anyway. They're only good, like, poker with.
Instead of candy cane, the joke doesn't work as well. Although the joke didn't end up working.
It would have
anyway,
been better if
might
it
as
said
well.
like a Snickers bar, because when they're floating in the pool, they look like poo. So
I need more Battenberg.
I
Sammy
tried
says-
Sammy's answer to what I said.
Yeah, from experience, Jen, no.
Classic. I like
oh
it.
shit. Sometimes you learn things about people you just don't want to know.
That they love Caddyshack? I wanted to know that about you. I love Caddyshack.
Go for
Great
dance.
freaking movie.
Go for dance.
Hilarious.
Go for dancing.
Oh,
You
are we
do-
bouncing?
you do
We're
realise-
bouncing, Julie.
Oh,
I
we're
just-
bouncing? I'm on a very hard wooden stool in my kitchen. I don't know that I can
Problem
bounce
is,
right now.
I know that what Jen's suggestion is going to make it into that fucking fan fiction at some point.
I just like to point out that my whole statement that there's not much moon rock on Earth for people to really have it. They only brought in total between the USA and the USSR only 190 kilograms of moon rock was brought back. And whilst you might think that's a lot if you had it sitting in front of you, it's fuck all for them to experiment with.
It's a huge amount, but there are bits of it that are so small they consider mostly useless because it's the same that they gave out as.
Yes,
there might be some more coming onto the market before the end of the decade, possibly though.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. When we go again, they'll bring back more.
NASA is the Project Artemis, maybe a go before the end of the decade, and China is also planning to land a man on the moon by the end of this decade.
True.
So Jeff, is this how you're going to get me my moon rock?
Yeah, fucking get off. I think it'll be out of his ass. I think it's going to go. I think I've got a feeling it's going to be cheaper to get in China somehow. I don't know why.
Badger, if I asked you to get me a moon rock right now, where would you go and how would you get it?
The moon.
You got to do it right now.
Well, it'll take me a little while, but I'm assuming that you're funding this, and I want to go to the moon.
No, I'm not funding it.
Well, what if you're not funding
Then why
it?
are we getting you moon rocks?
If you're not
Because you like me.
If you're not paying for it, I'm not getting your moon rock.
Well,
Beth,
I would go and find a drug dealer for you.
That's the point.
Go on.
Just the record "Rock on the Moon" by Jimmy Stewart count.
No. Beth.
But mine does.
As I say, that's on eBay. So.
That's on eBay.
So if your bowel is impacted and then you poop it out and it's really hard, is that a moon rock?
No.
Oh, wait.
You didn't really specify, Dave. I'm sorry.
Pine
It's
Snake
all going
says
to come back to the gross candy cane thing.
it is. I'm just going to get a huge bag of weed and see where it leads.
Fair enough.
Actually, moon rock
Snake,
sounds
fair
kinda
enough.
cool. What is it? It's a mixture of it's a nugget of marijuana made by dipping it in or spraying it with concentrated hash oil.
Fair enough.
Never tried that.
See, that's
So it's similar to a marijuana cookie, but it's like a little round thing. So
cool.
So yeah, I'll find a drug dealer and get you some moon rocks.
Right, I think we'll have the next
Dave,
question.
we better move on. You're getting really bouncy.
I know.
Yeah.
Right, question 617.
Moon rock.
Have you ever watched another couple getting it on without them knowing?
No. That's rude.
No.
Not without the
Unless
knowing.
Porn counts, but
Both of you at the same time.
but they've got but I'm going to say if they filmed it and put it out as porn, they've got a reasonable expectation of people watching it.
Yeah, but they don't know that you're watching it.
No, but that's a different kettle of fish, though, because
They have expectations that people are going to be
Why is
watching
your
it.
kettle full of fish?
What?
it's just an expression, Jen.
Wait, what did I miss then?
I could have said a horse of a different color.
One at a time, guys.
Jen, it's because all the pots are dirty and I don't want to do the dishes.
Good answer.
He's having beavers over. Right. No, porn does not count.
Then no.
Have none of you ever been to a beach
No.
in the summer?
No, I just but why would I?
Going on in front of me? I'd avert my fucking eyes anyway.
Yes, but my point being, you would have
honestly,
seen it.
Okay, you know what?
Doing the dirty, not just kissing.
Actually,
No,
Dave,
no.
yes, I can say yes. It was for a second, and I never entered my parents' bedroom again without knocking and waiting for a verbal "come on in."
Oh, honey.
Wait there. Wait there.
It was weird. It was weird.
Sorry.
Did they
Yeah,
know?
fine.
Did they know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I ran out of there really fast. I don't know. They may or may not have noticed. Their eyes were closed, so I don't
The
know.
scream going down the hall gave it away.
If you're including other people kissing, well,
No,
yeah,
we're not.
we probably
Not
all
kissing.
have. I've been on buses and trains where people are making out.
No, not kissing.
Yeah, but they know people
okay,
are watching.
so
because
they
they're
know.
public. That doesn't count.
Manda has a question that she needs you to clarify in the chat.
Do threesomes count if you're involved? No.
Because that's
Well,
they know you're there.
because they know
you're
and the
there.
other people don't realise you're involved in the threesome.
If you're in a threesome and they don't know you're there, you're doing
You better
something very
make sure
wrong.
they get off those drugs. Oh, I'm sorry, Julie. What?
I would
I just
accept.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I just said if you're in a threesome and the other two people don't know you're there, you're doing something very wrong.
I would
Well, I
accept
Yes.
that one. There are
half.
situations in which I would accept that one of the other people involved knew and one didn't.
yes. Like if you were a couple and one of them was a voyeur and the other one brought somebody home and the other person sat in the cupboard and
Yes.
watched it.
That would meet the criteria here.
That's technically a threesome,
Oh, but
weird
the
threesome,
person.
and one wouldn't know.
Okay, no, it would meet the criteria. I agree. I'm just, oh gosh, ew. I feel bad for the person who doesn't know because it's like that's.
But it's
I would-
them knowing, not just one of them knowing. So you're expecting both of them to not know. So I don't see how that works anyway.
I'd cut a bitch if somebody like peeping
Oh,
tomed me during my
I
private
don't
time.
agree with that person. They can just fuck off with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
or kill them. Yeah, whatever. No,
I
not kill
wouldn't
them.
I mean,
kill them,
let's
but
be
I'd be
honest.
very angry.
Maybe kill them.
Let's
Maybe
be honest.
kill
Once you get to that point in your life where your body's not perfect, nobody wants to see that shit. And we don't
I
want
don't want to see that. I don't want
I'm
to see
just
me
saying.
doing that. I still want to do
Yeah.
that, but I don't want to see me doing it.
In the air while anyways, yeah, no.
This is why we have light switches.
I think your images of yourselves are warped.
Thank you, Dave.
Oh, thank
That's
you,
good old
Dave.
day, Chad. That's why we have light switches. It's
There's
a
a
fact.
reason that most of my love affairs are virtual.
Sammy says, if it's remotely, does it still count? It would count if it was remote if they didn't know. If you go and put a camera up in your parents' bedroom and you were watching it, you are very, very weird.
Oh,
Right,
What
but
about
yes,
the
it would
drone?
count.
What about Dave? What about
Yeah.
like drone? Is that weird?
Is it weird? No, not necessarily, but it would count.
Yeah.
Is it weird?
You know the problem with
Is it weird
Sorry.
if you're flying your drone around and you just happen to accidentally fly past someone's window and you're like, ah, fuck.
No, that's fine.
Oh,
It's the going
yeah.
back. It's the going back and
Is-
holding
is-
it up against the window that's
Is
the
it
problem.
weird if you stay there?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Right. Now
We'll be your moral compass, Badger. We can do this.
Right.
It'll be okay.
As for my actual answer
going back to
the
what
question,
Sammy said, I'm a little bit worried that Sammy's paid to have cameras put in all our rooms for his and Nerdy's novel.
keep
A
your
guy
shit out
just
my
went
blanket,
down
boy.
for that here in the States. He worked for a very popular security company, and he had feeds going into his home computer
Yeah.
of people's like bedrooms and bathrooms and things, and was watching.
This is
people
Australia.
get up
They're
and
all perverts.
That's fair. I can't argue with that at all.
I would just say they're not as puritanical as we are, which would be cool.
Oh. We're gonna go to the chat. Doc says, I work in a hotel, so I haven't watched, but I've heard plenty.
Yeah.
I love you, Sammy.
The only person that can definitely say yes to this question is Jeebus. Right, there are two problems with that answer. There are lots of people that can definitely say yes to this question, and Jeebus isn't one of them.
I don't know. We'd have to. Well, Jesus might be able to say yes to it.
Yes?
Okay. So, my actual answer to this question is I may have while on beaches or stuff like that, but I either didn't notice or just kind of went, oh, they're busy. And then just, it was not significant enough for me to remember it.
That's good.
Because my view of things that I consider to be private is if I find myself in a position where I am party to someone else's private information, because my sort of morality is based on I want to do stuff that, you know, the old treat people as you want to be treated thing, even though that is flawed in some ways, my morality is kind of based on that. If I find myself party to someone else's private information, I tend to just automatically forget it.
Why'd you forget it? That seems odd.
That's very cool.
I mean, for now I forget everything, so it's mostly. I would say I mostly agree because I forget it completely. But the stuff I can remember about walking in on people at parties at university. Like I said, I grew up around the beach. It was not an uncommon sight.
Oh, my roommate in college and I had a system. We had a magnet because the doorways of the dorms were metal. So if the magnet was on the outside of the door, you went elsewhere.
Yeah. The thing is,
see, that seems far too organised.
See, the thing with me is I forget it because it's not that significant to me. It doesn't gain me anything knowing it. It's somebody else's. It's something that is private for someone else, and I don't. You know, there's no reason for me to want to remember it. To be honest, I just kind of.
No, I would agree with that completely. I suppose at the point at which I have memories of these things, they're just things that I couldn't. Yeah. I couldn't have chosen to forget them.
I don't choose to forget them. I don't.
What were you talking about?
I don't choose to forget them.
Randomly walking in on people.
I don't put any effort into not forgetting them, and then most of the things that I don't specifically try to remember just go whoop.
Yeah, that must be awesome. Teach me your superpower.
You have to have a stupid brain.
Stupid brain.
Okay.
I've had a weird reverse of this question happen, where I was at a party and there was a group of us sleeping in a room, and I became an unknowing voyeur of two people having sex because I didn't realize they were having sex until after it had sort of happened. But they knew I was there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've done that.
I've had that same situation happen where there's a bunch of people sleeping in one big ass room and somebody's screwing underneath the sleeping bag. But I'd say, Dave,
and I didn't realize until afterwards that they'd done it, but they knew people were there.
Easy.
Yeah.
That's
my closest thing I could say to that is being a truck driver and you see like somebody swerving and they're driving slow and you go to pass them and some woman's giving somebody,
on the bonnet of a car on a major freeway.
The unwritten law of the road.
I've seen that in, like, parking lots and on the highway, but they know people are there because they're on the highway and in a parking lot in public with their windows not covered. So that's the closest I can.
You don't worry about the windows when you're on the bonnet of the car.
Well, there might be somebody in the car.
That too.
Was there anyone in the car, Jim?
Got honked by a couple of truck drivers as they went past there.
I screwed my ex in the parking lot of a truck stop in her car, and everybody thought I was a guy because that's my life. And so that like the women were turning their heads, and the guys walking by were like,
You're a bizarre
Good job,
species.
man. I was like, yeah, I'm in this religious area. If they knew that I was a freaking, if it was two females, we probably would have got like burned, like Molotov in the window or something.
Oh dear.
Pretty funny.
Androgyny can work for you in certain places.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
By the way, just Jeff's internet connection is completely screwed, so
Oh,
he may or may
no.
not make it back.
Okay.
Do we have any other?
Jeff's not making it back.
I was going to make
He may
a
or may
terrible
not.
joke then.
Oh, he may or may not.
Oh, screw it, I'm going to make the terrible joke anyway. The problem is he needs a new router, but he's at home and can't deliver it to himself.
They don't use the post
I
office.
hate that you guys call them routers. It's a router.
No,
it's a
not.
router.
Is a router.
It's a router.
Spell the
No,
router.
router. Like Badger said, a router is for doing wood.
How is it that Australians and Americans say router and Brits say router? That's so weird.
Not all Brits
It's
do,
not
but
weird.
Some of
You're
them.
wrong.
Because Australians
You're
are
wrong.
silly.
No, and right. The only
You're
reason.
wrong.
You say
Because
router,
it was in-
everybody thinks the. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
The only
I
reason
know where you're
anyone.
going, B.
in the UK calls a router a router is because they've misheard. They've heard it from someone else that's not in the UK.
Yeah, well, you guys didn't
Damn
invent them,
Americans.
so screw you. It's a router.
Yeah, the woodwork tool is.
I've used a router for routing and
They
woodwork.
both have a U in them,
And they both spelt the same.
hence they should be pronounced the same.
Well, I mean, but there are
Here they are.
It's
not
Hey.
every. No, I'm sorry. I started thinking of homonyms, and then I was like, yeah, but not every word that's spelled similarly that has the different spelling rather and different meanings, but those sound the same. Never mind. I'm stuck on homonyms now, which is the opposite of what you were talking about. So let's move it along.
Sorry, I did hear something before I come back in, and I'm going to back Dave up on this. Yes, a router is something we use as a tool for you on wood. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually learned like boat building. I know this stuff.
See, yes, a router is for doing
a router is somebody who has sex with other people.
A router is the thing that you use for rerouting all the internet traffic down different routes.
I was a bit.
Down
Yeah,
route.
I thought I'd have to like
Routes.
No.
I thought
Yes,
I'd have to like use some of my phone up if then, but thankfully my internet came back. So
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
good. As in, I'm going somewhere I don't know, so I've programmed the route into
The
my
route.
phone.
No, you follow a route.
No, I follow a route.
We've got you strange route people outnumbered.
Yeah, you do, but
You
no,
route
wait, no,
some.
you don't.
There are routes
It's
in
even.
war. In a battle,
No,
you can
Dave
have a
has-
route.
No, Dave's dog's there as well.
Oh well, fine. Just throw the fact that you can have pets in my face.
And the dog is ill,
It's a router.
so you should be sympathetic.
Spelled the
Right.
exact.
Next question.
Same
We'll have a
way.
row about this later.
Great question about this now.
I can't believe this was our
It's
most
almost like we got
contentious one.
distracted and went on down a different route.
Yes,
Rude.
exactly, Beth.
Right, 618.
See, in the U.S., people that say root for route are the ones that are like the backwoods redneck, half no teeth incest.
Yeah, it's like,
Screwing
This
oh,
from the
Route
country that
911.
brought us Route
Oh,
66.
that way. Well,
I thought
Route.
root sounded more Canadian like that. Root.
Yeah, I can see.
Right,
No.
shush.
We're going to your boot route.
let's move on. I started wondering if this was a regional thing.
About the
Yeah,
route.
no.
Shh, shh, shh. Right, question 618. Would you rather be a vapor or a liquid?
Oh.
Can I just stay
Liquid.
solid?
If I could be
No.
vape, if you vape juice, you could be both.
I will
vapor
be a
or
liquid. I will be liquid because I'd be worried I would blow away.
I'd be vapor, so I could go through walls and things. That would be fun.
You could still sneak around if you're water, if you're liquid.
Go
Well,
under the door.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be
Where liquid
surprised.
can get through if it really wants to. You'd have to seep for a while, but you could get through.
Yeah, have you seen the Mummy when Emotep goes through the keyhole? You can do it like that.
Yeah, liquid.
Dave,
Vapors
I pick
disperse
liquid.
too easy.
I think we're
I
I
pick
think we're-
liquid so I could be bathwater for some hot chick.
nice one.
Go on.
I was going to say I'm assuming we're working on the basis here that we can't like materialize back into a solid again. So
No.
no. So that's how. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say I'm going to be some blueberry flavored vape juice, and then I can be both.
No. You can only have one.
That was so creative. You're just gonna
It
veto
was.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave does this. He's a bit of a prick.
Yeah. But if I do that, I start off as a liquid, and I
Yes,
end
and
up-
you become a
and then
vapor,
I-
and then
and then I end up as vapor. But I am not breaking the rules there, because I am
Oh, dear.
literally saying that I'm going to be a liquid. So
I thought that was rather clever.
it was
And
very
following
clever.
on from what Beth said,
as long as
it's
long as I'm
great
not-
because I love getting wet.
As long as I'm not bought purchased by Unirock, I'm fine.
What did you say, Jen?
I said, following on from what Beth said, liquid is best because I love being wet.
Nice.
Badger.
See, I have the best answer.
You did. Yeah.
Badger.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like that. No, I'm just kidding.
There is no woman on this panel who doesn't love being wet.
I shall be a liquid because I don't want to blow away.
Kind of indifferent. I just want the other person to be good.
Oh shit! What I clicked on? Come back. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I shall be a liquid because I don't want to blow away. While I like going on adventures sometimes, so I could maybe go in a river and float down. I also like to just be able to stay in one place so that I could be.
You don't fear dilution.
Well, you said it couldn't change, so
Yeah.
like he can't evaporate, and I don't know that more liquid could be added in that situation. Maybe. That's so
You're not going to
weird.
be a special type of liquid if you're not going to evaporate. So
I will be a liquid that doesn't disperse in a river.
I think it's too early in my brain. It's not that great.
we can all make the case that most liquids will evaporate eventually, but we've got to remember this is Dave's quiz, and he arbitrarily changes the laws of physics.
Yeah, I'll be liquid mercury. Fuck it.
You'll be liquid
Ooh,
milk.
good one.
I was going to say,
Mercury be awesome.
like
Then I can also be shiny.
like the guy on Terminator. He was liquid.
Yeah.
He was cool as shit.
Yeah.
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 Really scary.
Right,
Badger, just so
Linda.
you know, next time I hit a pothole with my truck and splash water, I'll think of you.
Next time I take a bath, I'm going to be thinking about Beth.
Nice.
Just so
Us
you know.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Julie and I gotta go.
Seraphim says liquid.
Next time I flush my toilet, I'll think of Jeff.
Thank you very much.
I had to throw him in there. I can't leave the poor guy out.
Linda said vapor.
Hey, Linda.
I
can't see the tab.
I think.
Hi, Linda.
Robert said liquid.
Where's Linda?
What? In the chat.
Yeah, I think
Bit of T&D.
I'm trying to find.
Amanda says vapor. Non-community says liquid. It's
Wait a
sexy. Pine Snake says I'd be a non-Newtonian
just-
fluid. What? What did you say?
Are we just like water? What kind of liquid are we? That's the question I have.
You
Like,
basically get to
can you
pick.
pick the liquid?
Yes.
Oh.
Pretty much.
Well, in that case, I want to be Smokehead Scotch.
I'm gonna say the chances are that if I am a liquid, it's going to have a pretty impressive alcohol content.
Yeah, oh, wait. Actually, I want to be a vapor that smells like
I'll
Smokehead
be
Scotch.
Asperglide.
I was gonna say
Oh
I
my
want to be lube, but only lesbian lube.
Lesbian.
Yeah, 'cause I was like, I was gonna
Is-
say
is-
that too, and then I thought about some
Is there lesbian in
stuff,
you?
and I was like, no. I'm scared. I'm scared to be
No,
lube.
I'm gonna invent that shit.
You're gonna invent it.
I mean, I'm not liquid yet, so it hasn't been invented, but I'm gonna invent that shit. That way I'm in
But
on
if
all
you're
the
the
good
right
stuff.
flavor, I'm pretty sure no guy would touch it anyway. So
I probably would.
I
Well, I'm
apologize for
definitely
moving
the
around, but
right
it's
flavor
too
for
hot in my
women.
kitchen.
That's true.
As long as you're not Battenberg flavour, you're all right. You're okay with Badger then.
That's the best.
Doc says vapor to get
Right.
a taste of what cremation is like.
Okay.
Non says liquid mercury. Mama Atheist says now I want to be liquid nitrogen.
Ooh.
Seraphim says I want to
that'd
be a
way too
ferrofluid.
cold.
Well, you said it yourself, man. You're cold. You got a cold, dark heart. It's possible.
But
Did it
if
yourself
you're the
yesterday.
liquid nitrogen, I don't think you'd mind. You know, that it would be your natural state to be cold, so you wouldn't notice. Is what I'm saying.
I like cold weather.
You like cold weather?
I'm better in cold weather.
I like the fact that you can adjust.
Now, Dave, move on quick.
I can adjust. We're British. We're going to be on it for the next hour.
Well, I'm sitting here in a blanket fort.
Yes.
Of course
On a very warm, sunny day.
It's easier to adjust your clothes up.
On the internet.
Right, next question.
I'll have you guys know I woke up to frost. It's frost. There's frost out there, so it's actually kind of chilly. But anyways, carry on, Dave.
Yes. Right, question
Frosty
600.
Snowman has a heartbeat, but he's really cold.
No.
I did nothing for me. Anyways.
No. Right, second to last question. Question 619. How many meerkats would it take to kill a Brontosaurus?
Oh, sorry. I'm just thinking you're going to lose some meerkats in that battle, so that made me sad for a second.
Why did you shove it down its throat?
What kind of meerkat?
What?
Kind of meerkat.
I want to answer. I want to respond with the Russian kind.
I was going to say, I want to compare the meerkats.
All that for that. That's brilliant.
They're very dexterous. Maybe you could give just one a grenade. That might work. Because you're going to lose the meerkat.
I think a smart meerkat could do it quite easily by itself, but they do tend to work best with teamwork. So let's say
they are very
6.
6. You think 6 could bring down a Brontosaurus?
If they were smart.
What?
Take 6 of them to get a bloody scorpion.
If they were smart about
one shoved down one's throat would probably kill one.
Yeah,
well, this is what Amanda says. 1, same as the chicken, choked. Seraphim says 1, choke it. I think we might have to invoke a no choking rule.
Do meerkats have opposable thumbs?
I'm muted.
Are you?
What did meerkats look like when brontosauruses were around? Like, were they little, cute, or were they big?
Yeah, they were us.
We don't know.
No, we do. They were us. They were shrews and they were us.
Aww. Oh yeah, because we have a common ancestor, don't we? Okay. So they were
the same
tiny
size?
wee
I mean,
shrews.
Yeah, no, we're talking about bringing a Brontosaurus here. Go on.
Oh, okay. So modern
do that.
meerkat, ancient Brontosaurus. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's where I was confused. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, they'd probably try to ride it or something. They're really playful and silly.
Right, I really hate you, non-community. They say 3.141 5926 535 8979 323846 264338 279 502 8841971693993751 5820974944 5923078164 062 4825, and I am certain I made a mistake in there.
So you,
why didn't
is that
you just
pie
say
to a bunch of places?
Dave.
It is. Why didn't you just say pie?
And that's what Caroline just shouted at me from the other side of the room.
Damn it, I was just going to say, so you're saying the meerkats all get a piece of the pie?
They would.
Seraphim says 9,001. It's over 9,000. Seraphim says sub-choking is hot.
If you got a really powerful air cannon, you could do it with one.
Well, I know. We've discussed this with the chicken. If you fire it into its throat, it's gonna choke.
Well, I think about 55, because 55 of them could push a boulder off a cliff and smash one.
Ooh,
55.
I like that plan.
You think they'll work together well enough?
It's the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Right on.
Yes.
And then they all live versus
missed it.
shooting one into the throat.
We had that answer many times yesterday, Jen.
What, 42?
It was Talent
Yeah.
Day.
I wasn't here yesterday, so it's new.
I was sleeping.
Thank you.
I had to do a big workup just so I could get the pun about "Don't talk to me about life" in there.
Nice.
Non says give them poisoned pie. Can they
Well,
get?
I was just thinking one if you coat it in arsenic first.
What does none have to have against meerkats? Or are they supposed to deliver the pie to the Brontosaurus?
I don't
I'm
know,
confused.
but were they not the one that suggested the baseball bat to the puppies?
No, don't go. No, no, we're past
I
that.
think it might be a small critters issue. Oh, it was Mandy,
That
you're right.
was what he said about the baseball bat to the puppies.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, if we give the meerkats baseball bats, it might help. You know, might help bring the odds in their favour. I don't know.
They can only take what tools they've got. They've got themselves. I don't think we can tool them
So
up.
we can't arm them?
No, because if you could arm them, you could arm them with a bazooka and take it down easily.
What about if they
Exactly.
try to kill the Brontosaurus with a banana?
Say that again.
That was for you, Jeff. I said banana.
Well, the banana only works on atheists because it's our worst nightmare.
Brontosaurus is believing God. How many?
1,000.
That was Brontosaurus.
1,000. What did
Yeah, because then I'd have a ton of them and I could just drop them on top of it.
I mean, I would guess it would take many thousands to actually
I
bring
don't
down
know.
Brontosaurus. I
But
think.
1,000 of them weighs a ton. I reckon you could kill a Brontosaurus by dropping a ton weight on it.
It weighed several tons.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say, what's the average?
You drop a ton weight on a Brontosaurus's head, you're going to kill it.
What's the average weight of an
meerkat- and the
unladen
meerkats are going to
Brontosaurus?
be able to like drop a ton weight on the.
African or European?
Thank you.
No, David, he said you couldn't arm the meerkats. He never said I couldn't wrap them in duct tape and drop them from an aeroplane.
What about if we arm the Brontosaurus?
How would that help them kill it?
Or because then it might accidentally kill itself.
Ricochet.
It's
Yeah, it happens to humans all the
A
time.
Brontosaurus does not have opposable thumbs. It can't possibly. It can't effectively use these weapons.
Mm.
Can a Brontosaurus get up?
If it's knocked over, like cow
Yeah.
tipping? I don't
Yeah.
know. I hope so. I would hope so.
I don't know. Dave, were you there?
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, my point is, could you bring them down like the walkers? Like the
Yeah,
Star
I
Wars?
that was one thing. I've got this image of meerkats running around like little Ewoks trying to stop
With
this
rope.
Brontosaurus.
Yeah, well. We know what's happening.
then-
We know what's going to happen in episode 10 of Star Wars, don't we?
Yeah,
And then they
meerkats.
just use a pointed
such a
stick.
Disney thing to
No.
do.
and be
No
fine.
Star Wars.
No Star Wars.
I'm-
Right.
I'm in my fort. I'm safe.
Bad
We were
news in
only
his safe
dealing
place.
with pre-Disney. Right.
It's been
The last question. I don't think we've conclusively answered that one. I
Yes,
think we need to
Dave.
do some investigation and experimentation.
Yeah.
That is Mitchell.
The experiment.
At least it wasn't puppies this time.
Next
Well, I was
question.
going to say, in the absence of a Brontosaurus, we may need to use puppies and baseball bats as for a simulation.
No, that wouldn't help. Question 620. Our last question. Would you rather have a lemur's tail or a shark's tail?
lemur.
Oh, lemur every time.
Lemur's tail look like?
Well, a lemur's tail
Are
doesn't
they
help you swim.
prehensile? I think they are.
I wouldn't mind a shark's fin. I don't know about a tail.
You know what? I thought about making it a shark's fin, but I went with shark's tail. It would be an
shark
addition
tails
to your
would be a
list.
great swimmer, but lemur tails are just cute.
Oh,
You know, I mean,
okay.
I wouldn't be able to walk if I had a shark's tail. This is a
Yeah,
silly
you would.
thing.
You'd be able to walk. It comes out your
Ow.
back. Comes out your
Well,
back
that's
down
even
by.
less useful.
Like if I loved to swim and I was like, some Olympic swimmer, I would pick the shark's tail. But since I'm not big on being underwater, lemur.
Yeah.
I would.
Lemur
say-
tail.
I mean, you could like hold stuff with it. You could hang on to stuff, lean out windows. Like it would just be amazing. There's
I
so
want-
many uses.
You
I
can
want-
tap someone on the shoulder before they.
I could
they're
imagine it
looking at
being
your
useful
hand.
in bed too.
I want the dorsal fin.
Tickle someone.
Here's why. Because I can have a lot of fucking fun in swimming pools or at the seaside pranking the fuck out of people with that.
You can get detachable
And if
tails.
you have a lemur's tail and you have somebody into that,
It'll make it really awkward to sit in chairs.
say it.
Which one?
The dorsal fin.
The dorsal
Yeah,
fin.
or
Yes,
the
it would.
shark's tail would make chairs
Oh,
very
sorry.
awkward.
I'm going to say,
I'm going to go after you.
Whereas a
Right.
lemur's tail,
With
doesn't have to
the
be in the way.
with the absence of a dorsal fin not being an option, though, I'm going to have to say lemur's tail.
Right, Seraphim says lemur's tail, it make her cuter. Atheist says lemur's tail, it's got fur, praise fluff.
Oh,
Morton says lemur, Linda says lemur. Morton says, how is it attached? Jen says butt plug. It would be attached where your tail attaches.
Okay.
Butt plug.
Right, I'm gonna.
That's
I
going to be
will-
coccyx.
yeah, I was thinking the end of the coccyx, but okay.
I'll have to wax the word I forgot.
Right, I'm going to go with the lemur's tail because I think the colour scheme would go with my fur.
Yes, it would.
It
You just
would.
went
Yeah,
and
it
looked the
wouldn't be a
picture
big
up.
difference for you, would it?
Yeah, it would because the lemur's tail is more dexterous and could like dangle.
Oh, it'd be useful then.
Exactly. Whereas shark's tail, I think, would look a bit silly on a badger.
On a
Very,
badger.
very silly.
It
would
starts to
also
look like a
not really-
beaver.
It would also not really bring me any benefit because,
You can start building
shark-
dams.
Why would I want to? Though?
What? Badgers don't build dams; they build
That's good.
lodges.
That's because they don't have shark's tail.
I thought badgers built sets or beavers built lodges.
Yeah, badgers build sets.
Jen can't tell the difference between a badger and a
sorry.
beaver.
A lemur's tail would be much more useful to me because
Yeah.
then if I got stuck
I
in
know
a tree,
exactly what a beaver looks like. An advantage of being pansexual.
Which is why I've always. Which is
then
why
if I
I've
got
always
stuck in a tree, I could use the lemur tail to help
And
me.
also having one myself.
which is why I've always been confused that you always refer to your dwelling as a burrow when it should be a set.
Because nobody knows what the fuck a set is.
I actually learned
well, there
that
you go.
from
There's
Badger.
your chance
thank
to
you.
educate people.
I learned a new word. Well, I learned it when he was doing one of his videos about why the global flood is stupid,
Yep.
and how
On my
what would
channel,
go extinct and
explaining
stuff.
what a set is. It's already on my channel. I've done it, but I say burrow because for two reasons. One, nobody knows what the fuck a set is, and two, because a burrow sounds cozier.
It does.
A set is at the
And
end
I
of
have a
3
blanket
matches.
for.
I'm sorry, Dave. What
Thanks,
was that?
Dave.
I don't
A
know
set
what
is
kind
at the end of
matches
3
you buy.
matches.
I don't know what kind of matches you buy, Dave, but you're getting the wrong ones.
I think it's just supposed to be a tennis reference. And
The worst thing is,
Oh.
the worst thing is I don't actually know how many matches are in a set.
or a darts.
Yeah, I have an irrational hatred of tennis
Do you live close to Wimbledon?
because it's because it was the Wimbledon. Whenever the Wimbledon was on, they would cancel Star Trek: Next Generation that week.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, I would hate that too.
And I turn the TV on to watch Star Trek, and there'd be fucking Tim Henman there fucking around. I'd be, oh, fuck off, Tim.
Tiger
Yes.
Tim.
Tiger Tim.
So is anyone other than Jeff having a shark's tail?
No. I said in the absence of a dorsal fin as an option, I will take the lemur's tail.
No, but a dorsal fin wasn't an option.
and that's
That's
why
what I said.
I just fucking said.
Wait, but a dorsal fin wasn't. I'm just kidding. Dorsal wasn't an option.
I'm going back in my blankets.
You're going back in your blanket.
I need
Right.
to brush my hair.
Was
And,
the biscuit
no, you
batter or
don't.
not?
Battenberg.
Oh, okay.
Viennetta.
That's a.
I might put pigs in blankets later on.
Sammy jumps in and says lemur's tail at the end. Right, on that note, we are going to go. I'm going to say thank you very
Okay.
much to Jeff, to Linda,
Okay.
to Beth, to Jen, and to Badger.
Ooh, I'm cozy now.
Now you're cozy. Now we're at the end.
Oh, wait, who is Linda? Sorry.
Yeah, I think you meant Julie, but
Oh,
whatever, it's
shit.
fine. It's fine.
But we all
No,
knew
it's
that.
not. I'm really
It's
sorry.
okay, Thomas.
okay,
Don't worry
Dave.
about it.
Do you know what the
It's
worst thing
fine,
is?
her
My
name's
eyes
just
scanned
Thomas
and I just got the
Green.
L
We
at
know
the
why you
end, and
forgot
I
it.
feel so shitty. Oh.
No, don't feel shitty because there's a Linda in the chat who is a lovely person, and I have an Aunt Linda who is also a lovely person. So it's.
Yes, but you're Julie, and
But
I should.
I'm Julie. Yeah, not Linda.
I say bye to Julie then.
You don't even look like a Linda. You look like a Julie. I'm just
To be
saying.
fair,
Thank
right, no,
you.
to be-
I do not
to be-
thank you.
Dave,
could be
though,
Linda if
Dave,
you-
can I actually point out though that when I was on Neil's channel with Julie, she called me Dave, to which I had to respond. To which I had to respond. All right, trigger.
I'll be Julie. No, I won't. I'll be Linda for you if you pay me enough or say the right things.
That's
Bad
all right.
Linda,
That's
bad
something else to
Linda.
think about. Yeah. No, yeah,
Badger,
Jeff is
you're
right.
not
I
sexy
totally
enough
messed
to be
up.
Linda.
You haven't met me in the right context.
Listen,
Right. I'm going to say thank you to everyone in the chat. We will see you tomorrow. I think we're late tomorrow. I can't remember.
Always late.
But we should be on. But bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.